Hi folks, you're with Tacitus today. Tacitus today, your pushback channel, and thank you for joining this audio no pictures live stream. Please listen to this presentation as you would a radio broadcast as you're driving along in your car or your truck, or put in those earbuds and take it all in when you're in public transport. In this essay, I'd like to talk about hiring a mid-level manager, supervisor in a technical sort of role. Now, we've got a client that we're working with, so we've got for the moment at least, or recently, almost a day-to-day interaction with them. And given the sort of work that we're doing, they said, look, we're going to hire a mid-level supervisor sort of person, and their technical input may be of some value in the project. And so there parts of the project were being slowed down while they did this hiring. They assured us it would happen quickly. So only because of that, we got a front row seat. Now, and you're looking at the most crazy sort of chaotic process in hiring, and politicized and dramatic, and in what should have been I would have thought, pretty straightforward. Now, I've often wondered, looking at in situations not dissimilar to this, where the project has to be put on hold. We're getting a new vice president, or we're hiring a new general manager, where we're getting a new person who's going to be involved, and so the project is put on hold or slowed down while they make that hire. So I've often wondered, though, because when they say they're hiring somebody, we're out looking, and we, either I or my colleagues will have a look at the ad. We'll go onto the online job boards, have a look at the advert, and well, gee whiz, they're really they're aiming high here. They want, a million engineering PhD qualifications. They want 100 years of service at the apex of the managerial summit. They want this, they want that, they want so and so. Now, if such a person even exists in the whole world, which is often doubtful given the huge demand, we know for sure they're not going to hire anyone like that, because that person doesn't exist. It's just a ridiculous wish list put together by amateurs, and amateurism is the order of the day here. And I'll come back to some of the reasons for that in a minute. But you're watching a bunch of bumbling, idiotic amateurs, bumping into each other, falling over each other, tripping over the steps, and it's painful to watch. Nonetheless, that's them. They're paying our invoices, so I don't want to say, hey, you're a bunch of idiots, or something. But so they go about. But the person they end up hiring is almost the exact opposite of what the advert is. Instead of having an engineering PhD, they hire someone with a diploma from a fifth tier college, and it's nothing to do with engineering. It's sociology or something. And whereas they insist someone's got to have 15 years minimum experience in a managerial role, then they hire someone who's got zero managerial experience, and so on and so forth. And you look, how the fuck did they hire that person? Now, in some instances, it's affirmative action hire, or diversity, equity, inclusion hire. They've got a budget for a certain number of proverbial black lesbians, and so they make a decision like that. But I'm constantly left. I don't think I've ever seen a situation where the person hired meets the supposed criteria. And I mean, you do get it occasionally, and if you do, it is always a straight white male. They're the only people that meet the upper echelons of demanding criteria when coming to hiring, particularly in the more technical, performance measurable type roles. Anyway, so coming back to this situation, now this is not a senior job. This is not like a top of the range. It's probably paying, I don't know, 2.5 times the average wage. So we're not talking, big time stuff here. And you wouldn't think it would attract much drama and political infighting. But when you look at the overall structure of the organisation, firstly, they're quite heavily reliant on government contracts. And so they don't have to compete in the marketplace as an efficient, well-organised, well-oiled machine. They don't have to do that. Once that pressure is taken off any group of people in any organisation, they very quickly descend into petty childlike bickering and focusing on silly issues like does the staff amenities or does the staff tea room have low sugar drinks or something like they focus on those little things that you think, well, that's irrelevant. How about running a successful business? But no, and don't you think in our reception area we should have a black lesbian and a retarded gay guy or something? They focus on that sort of stuff, the petty window dressing type things. And all ideological. Now the CEO who hasn't been there that long, he's a flunky stooge boy for the big banks. He doesn't know anything about the business. He's just there as a front man. I mean, I suppose pleasant and charming enough in his way, but if his IQ's 100, I'd be surprised. But he's got quite he's got a beaming smile and this sort of thing, and I'm sure he's useful to the people that make the decisions and pull the strings. So they've plonked him in there to look good, and that really sums up a lot of the other people around. There are a few people in there who are pretty capable and competent, but they're all white and all bar one. One's a straight white woman. She's pretty good, and the rest are all straight white men. But so coming back to the hiring here, now it's a straightforward thing, just a mid-level, supervisor manager in a quite a technical role, and so they go and put out an advert on the internet job boards to hire somebody, and again, not a big bucks job. There's no decision-making responsibility or anything like that, but it turns into an absolute firestorm. We got a front row seat watching all this ineptitude and incompetence, and again, there's just too many people there who think the workplace is, the women in particular think it's a doll's house. They're playing doll. They're 5 years old and they're playing doll's house, and they're playing in a sand pit. They're making little sand castles on the beach, and that seems to be the mentality. No one, or very few, seem to treat it seriously as a business. It's just a little playground for little children to play in, and so they can demand, petty recognition of their petty sort of concerns. So it goes on. So the HR department insists, well, it has to be, the person who gets the job has to be a black lesbian. That done. That's it. So they push heavily on the affirmative action, diversity, DEI stuff, and they've got like I don't think she's a lesbian, but she's certainly extremely leftist, and she's the world is an evil patriarchy run by Nazis, and she has to fight back, and this sort of thing. She's very much imbued with those sorts of views. She's not very bright either, so she's incapable of intellectually rising above that conditioning. Not many people can actually once they are conditioned. It certainly takes time. For me, the light didn't go on until I started doing a lot of traveling, and then sort of reality was thrust upon me, and it would have taken longer without that, I think. So that's the HR. Then the other people are involved. Every department and section or group in the company has now become a cheer squad for their specific concern. Now, why they would be concerned over this? I mean, it's just a technical mid-level supervisory job. Just get on with it. Just fucking do it, for Christ's sake. Hire someone who's qualified. But politics and ideology and drama are just I mean, the air is thick with it. No one's thinking about getting someone who can do the job. Everyone's thinking about some sort of angle. So it goes back and we need to get a senior person. No, we can't get a senior person because that would upset this delicate social internal thing. We have to get a junior person. No, we're going to hire 2 interns or 2 trainees. So the person has to mentor them. Therefore, they have to be there. No. Now we need a junior. Now we need a senior. Now we need that. Now we need so and so. And so every day, and even within days, they're changing their mind every fucking 5 minutes over what they think they're going to need and what they think they will hire. Now the advert's running. They've put the advert in. Applications arriving, and yet the arguments are raging back and forth. And nor is it done with a casual. Someone has an opinion. oh, I think someone who can do this would be, it's not that. Those sort of conversations you think would have happened beforehand. And I mentioned this to our contact. Why is the debate and the argument raging back and forth? Didn't you have these conversations before you put the advert out and before the position description was formulated? And he's, oh yeah, no, we had all those we're just having them all over again now. And so, so the bottom line is they're incapable of making a decision. They just don't know what they need. Now it's pretty simple. I mean, I could tell them, okay, well the requirements of the job are someone who can, from a technical perspective, do A, B, and C. So if they have that expertise and have the relevant credentials and so on, then what's wrong with that? Just go ahead with that. But it's not that. There's more. But is it a man? Is it a white man? Is it a woman? Is it a black woman? Is it a lesbian? Is it a homosexual? Is it this? Is it that? Well, one of the trainees we want to hire is a black lesbian, so we can't have a straight white guy as the boss mentoring her because that would upset this and that. And oh fuck! But this is how it's going back and forth. So again, we've got a front row seat watching all this unfold and the turmoil. And it illustrates just how much energy and angst and drama can be infused into something, even the simplest thing. And if you look at sort of the race and gender hustlers, LGBTQ, they can turn anything into an issue. Just think of a way of looking at it that can turn it into a drama, and they'll do it. And that's I guess what's happening here. Now the person who this role reports into, he's a straight white guy, but I don't, from the looks of it, I don't think he got the job on merit, but he's not an idiot, and I think he can but he's sticking to it has to be someone who's qualified, but he's susceptible to influencing. So if the HR director comes in and shouts and screams at him, then at least for the next few hours, he'll, we really do need a black lesbian. But then when someone else comes in and says something else, he'll change his mind to that. So he's not someone of great moral courage, but he would be the closest to. Again, he's got to supervise the guy, so he wants someone who can do the job, whereas none of the other people around them care about the job. And this is what struck me. No one cares about can the person do the job or not. Everything is the social politics of affirmative action and all the subsidiary and subset issues that come from that. So when you wonder why people are getting hired that bear no resemblance to the supposed job description or the online advert or why they seem to endlessly interview people and these sorts of things, that's why. And this is the first time. When I'm doing hiring, I'm a model of decisiveness and decision making and clarity of thought and so on, but that's not the case here. But the time and energy and effort that's being wasted, people aren't doing their jobs. The HR people, all these people, they're not doing their jobs. They're running around in effect, playing these petty little tribal politics. It's insane. You've been with Tassos today, your pushback channel. Thank you for listening.